did I do all this stuff for 25 years, and then all of a sudden, what my grandmother forecast comes true. When this happened, and now's the time, my father had talked to me about doing more Christian-based stories on my jewelry. And we did the Power of Prayer, and we did, the Guardian Angel. We did different ones, but all of a sudden the stories became the thing that took off like crazy. And we had little story cards, romance cards we call them. Pretty soon I would go to a personal appearance and there would be 100 people. A year later there would be 250 people. And I would do appearance after appearance. I was gone on the road forever. I became a workaholic. And a workaholic is no different than an alcoholic. All in the name of chasing the almighty dollar. My daughter's like, years later, she's like, Dad, I want you to come see my basketball games. She's a good little ball player. And she's a junior in high school or whatever. I've seen her play one time in 3 years. Dad, come see my swimming meets. I'm competing. I'm pretty good at it. Well, I gotta go to the Academy Awards. They want me to put my jewelry in the gift bags. I've got to go do this deal. Okay, Dad. She came back, she said one time, she said, Dad, you're gone all the time. You've missed me growing up. You taught me that you can be anything you want to be, you can do anything you want to do. Education is the way. You made me say it the first day, and the second day, and the last day of school, but you've been gone my whole life. We have enough money. I don't have any time with you. Can't you go on some vacations with us? I mean, you sent us to Europe, and Mommy and my sister went, and you couldn't go. You can never do anything with us. And it was always next year. I'm almost where I want to be. When you're selling 200 grand, you're saying, if I can only sell 500,000 a year, I'll be happy. Then when you're selling 2 million a year, it's like, if I can only sell 5 million a year, I'll be happy. When you're selling 5 million, it's like, if I can only sell 10 million a year, retail, I'll be happy. It never ends because my priorities were screwed up. So I had been in Tony Robbins' Platinum Club, spent 50 grand a year to be in that club. I had took Jay Abraham's $50,000 course and learned all about marketing, advertising, and I was creating Gift Beat said, Ronaldo Designer Jewelry, one of the most collectible brands in America. We're expanding left and right. And I stayed on the road chasing fame and money. Let me tell you something. It's not real. Fame is not real. It's a temporary thing. It's made by the media or made by, if you make a record or something like that, or you're a rock star. Everything from chasing money, building a fortune, living in a $2 million home, having cars, being on stage with the Pope. I mean, I was on stage with the Pope, and we donated some money for repairing the Virgin Mary Church, and me and Raphael is doing a collaboration, one of the top Italian cameo names, and make a $120,000 piece and give it to the Pope so we can get some worldwide attention. That's all nice. But at the end of the night, I didn't have any relationship with my wife. I didn't have any relationship with my kids. I was worse than an alcoholic. I was worse than a drug addict. No matter who told me that they needed me, my need for certainty that I was going to be famous, that I was going to be worth $100 million, outweighed my wife's needs or my kids' needs. So everybody knows how that train wreck hit and what happened there. I went through a divorce worse than Johnny Carson. Cost me my company, cost me my cars, cost me a fortune, cost me all the money. And it brings me to this. You have to go through hard things, and God will prune you back give you time to pause and think before you can regrow. And I'm like, I nearly died 4 times. I spent 300 days on the road. I come home and my wife doesn't even know who I am anymore. And my kids, they don't even have a dad. So you try to lie to yourself that you're doing something for them. You're doing it for yourself. When you have an addiction, you don't want to listen to anybody else. When my mom was dying, my Uncle Bob drank bourbon. He's like, have a drink. And I'm sitting there with her for 70 days. She's died from cancer. And I drink a fifth every day of 4 Roses. And I rented the whole room so I could stay there too. And Corydon is half an hour, 45 minutes from my house. And I could stay there or I could go home. And that's a whole story about learning something from somebody who's dying is the final gift on what to do. And it's about never giving up. She wanted to make some Christmas gifts. She wasn't going to die till she finished painting me, her grandkids, and my other brother a Christmas gift. Now, the last few days, she had to just point. When she couldn't point anymore, I'd already knew what she wanted. And the last couple of days, she got to where she couldn't move a muscle, couldn't breathe at all. And I sit there the last 20 hours and I kept an eyedropper and I kept putting water to let it leak in. And 2 hours before she died the next day, she's sunken in, turning black, hasn't moved, couldn't even move her eye anymore to blink for water. Hasn't moved in 20 hours, like she's in a coma. The doctor said, hey, it's ball game time now. We thought that she would die many times in the last 70 days. We don't know why she didn't. And out of the clear blue, she sits up and she grabs me and says, Ronnie, hold me. And she couldn't talk for the last week of her life. And she's talking like I'm talking to you. Ronnie, hold me. And she grabs me and I hug her. Seemed like forever. Just a couple of minutes. I lay her down and I brush her hair. And not too much later, she gets promoted to heaven. Now, the whole time she was in the nursing home, because she had the heart attack, they thought at the hospital, has the lung cancer, they need 10 liters of oxygen, they can't do that at home, so she had to go there. She said, I bought a new dress, a new bra, new panties, new shoes. This is how I want my hair done. This is what I want to wear to be buried in. Every week she made me promise, and she'd tell me again the same dress. It's in my cedar chest. It's all laid out with the instructions. Make sure you open that cedar chest the day I die and get that dress, the underwear, the bra, the panties, everything to the funeral parlor. Okay. Promise me. Okay. A week later, promise me. Okay. She drilled it into me. Now, the night she died, I go to her house to feed Peppy and open the cedar chest. Sitting on top of her clothes is a little box. A little tin box. It has my name on it, Ronnie. I open it up and there's a little note that said, I know what you've done. I know the kind of man you are. You made my life a good one. You made my death a great one. Thank you. These are for you. Inside this little thing was a little elephant. She gave me an elephant every year for 30 years for a Christmas gift. It was when I hurt my neck. I watched Tarzan movies. Johnny Weissmuller. I said, elephants never forget. Never forget I love you. Never forget I love you. Never forget I love you. Drilled into me. You're going to get okay one day. Never forget I love you. Plot these pictures, and it's 200 baby pictures that I've never seen. They're in black and white with the little ruffled edges that was done, you know, when they had the little camera and you went in the camera, little box camera. You take it to the store and that's how they come back. Pictures of me as a baby. On the back of every single one of these pictures, written in a pen, is the words, Ronnie always wants me to hold him. The next picture, Ronnie always wants me to hold him. Now, what are you supposed to say? Your mom can't move. A finger sits up and says, Ronnie, hold me. She took all of her energy, every cell of her body that she had left, and was doing what everybody would say is impossible, what can't be done. And her last message was to say, there's the elephant. Never forget, I love you. Never forget, I didn't die until I got my Christmas gifts made. You don't know what you're capable of till you have to do it. Never forget that, son. I'll be waiting for you in heaven.